If you are somewhat active on Twitter, you most likely know about Chiitan, the Japanese crazy mascot. As with other mascots, Chiitan is based on something. It's clearly an animal, but what animal is Chiitan? Yeah, that's clearly a normal thought when someone look at Chiitan. Surely I'm not weird. Anyway, let me just broad up the question. What exactly is Chiitan? So, why is this even a topic? A simple Google search would answer this question, right? Well, yeah, but the answer is actually quite interesting for me because I'm a zoologist. Some of you might think, surely Chiitan is a Japanese otter, right? Kinda, but not really. So, let's talk about Chiitan's history. Back in 2013, the Susaki city in the Kochi prefecture, Japan created an official mascot for their city. It's a Japanese otter. But it's not Chiitan, it's shinjo-kun. Just as a fun fact, Shinjo-kun won the 2016 Yuru-chara Grand Prix. If you don't know about Yuru-chara Grand Prix, it's basically a competition of Japanese mascot popularity. These kinds of mascots are called yuru-chara by the Japanese. The Grand Prix is also one of the reasons why Kumamon became popular on the internet, because it won the 2011 Yuru-chara Grand Prix. Anyway, just so you can imagine the scale, Shinjo-kun beat 1,420 other mascots. Completely unrelated to Shinjo-kun, there is an otter called Chiitan in Susaki. Not a mascot, real otter. The otter is also popular on Twitter through an account called Kawausou no Chiitan. It literally means Chiitan the river otter, by the way. It also has its own TV show called the Kawausou Japan TV. Because of its popularity, it became an honorary tourism ambassador of Susaki City. And then, in December 2017, the Chiitan mascot was made, not for Susaki City, not for Shinjo-kun, for Chiitan, the popular otter. It was designed by the same illustrator of Shinjo-kun, so it strongly resembles Shinjo-kun, but with turtle on its head. So, what did Chiitan the mascot do? Well, at first, it's just like the usual mascot stuff. Soon enough, it basically becomes just like nowadays, chaotic, or in its own choice of word, crazy. Chiitan the mascot became popular, and so it kinda became the unofficial ambassador for the city. While a lot of people might laugh at this crazy act, you should realize that the crazy act had to be done somewhere. And so, some people are worried. Some are concerned about how dangerous it is. Some view it as a bad influence. Because Chiitan is sometimes seen together with Shinjo-kun, some worried that Chiitan might become a bad influence to Shinjo-kun. While that might sound ridiculous to you, and to me to be honest, the concerns are in a way still valid. Just a year after its debut, the Susaki government had received hundreds of complaints for its association with Chiitan. And so, the Susaki city removed its association with Chiitan. So does the Otter Chiitan. Funnily enough, this brought attention to Chiitan, and it was even invited to the HBO Last Week Tonight by John Oliver in April 2019. In May 2019, Chiitan's Twitter account was suspended. After some struggles, Chiitan was freed. I mean, that's obvious since you can see Chiitan's activities nowadays. Anyway, let's start the serious zoology talk. So, Shinjo-kun is indeed based on the Japanese otter, Lutra nippon. But Chiitan, the otter, is not a Japanese otter. It's actually an Asian small-clawed otter, Aonyx cinereus, not even the same genus. The Asian small-clawed otter cannot be found in Japan. Well, not naturally at least. So, why is Chiitan in Japan? Because the Asian small-clawed otter is really popular in Japan, as a pet. So popular that many illegal trades were done. This species is categorized as vulnerable. Now, the question is, why do the Japanese like the Asian small-clawed otter so much? Why don't they just, keep the Japanese otter as a pet? That is because the Japanese otter is extinct since 40 years ago. The Japanese otter was widespread up to the late 1800s. During the Meiji period, when Japan started opening trades to the rest of the world, animal pelts became one of the valuable resources to be exported. This led to the overexploitation of the Japanese otter. Not only that, pollution and human development ruined their habitat. And so, its population nearly vanished by the 1930s. The last confirmed sighting was in 1979, when an individual was photographed in Shinjo River, Susaki City. Does that ring a bell? Yes, that's why Shinjo-kun was made as the official mascot of Susaki City in 2013, just 1 year after the Japanese otter was officially declared extinct by the government. What's interesting is that the Japanese otter was not even considered a distinct species when it went extinct. The scientific name back then was Yuru-chara whitelei. If you didn't know, Yuru-chara is the common Eurasian otter, the one you can find basically everywhere in Europe and mainland Asia. Evidence that suggests the Japanese otter is a distinct species was published in the late 1990s, at least 10 years after its last confirmed sightings. But it was highly debated because it's based on limited morphological and genetic data. It's probably obvious that it'll be difficult to validate because the animal itself was already extinct. We can't get any more specimens. The 2019 publication also debated this conclusion. But again, we can only examine the preserved specimens from museum, which will slowly deteriorate over time. On a side note, in February 2017, 3 otters were recorded by trail cameras in Tsushima. It was quite a big news. After 38 years, finally another otter sighting in Japan. This brought back hope that the Japanese otter might still be alive. Unfortunately, analysis had shown that this is just some Eurasian otters that made their way to Tsushima, most likely from South Korea. Now, back to the Asian small-clawed otter. Japanese zoologists had expressed their concern about their popularity. First of all, the high demand of them by the Japanese motivates otters poaching in the natural habitat. By the way, I shall remind you that the Asian small-clawed otter is categorized as vulnerable. Imagine if they become endangered and eventually extinct. It'll become Japanese otter 2.0. The second is, most of the people that want to keep them as pets cannot actually provide them with the proper living condition. As you might have guessed, otter needs a free space to swim. Otters are also not a common pet, so most vets wouldn't be able to treat them if they got sick. Most people wanted otters as pets because they look cute. The thing is, if you couldn't provide them with the proper living condition, they won't be happy, hence they won't look cute. They might just frustrate you, just as you frustrate them. Apparently, a case was brought up because a woman abused her pet otters because they aren't friendly, which is ridiculous, don't you think? So, why did I make this video anyway? Aside from me finding it interesting, I'm also very slightly worried. Sometimes, people can pick a weird interest on weird things based on popularity. Remember when isopods are weirdly popular on the internet, and people wanted to keep them as pets? Yeah, that could happen to otters, because Chiitan is now really popular. Maybe the majority of you wouldn't think of it, but a few might, and domino effect could happen. Instead of obsessing over otters, just obsess on Chiitan the mascot if you want to. For example, here, look, start thinking about this. What turtle is this? Try to find out the answer, discuss with your friends, or whatever. And that's about it. That's all for— Wait, yes? Well, we're talking about the animal behind mascot design. What are we exactly? Huh? What do you mean? Of course we are deer. Yeah, but what deer? What species of deer exactly? Are all of us a different species of deer, or— That's all for now. Wait!